Hi everybody, this is Saad for the Sad Truth. Today I'm recording from Southern California where I'm enjoying some vacation time and also appearing on various podcasts and radio shows. Please tune into my social portals for scheduling of my various appearances. Today I'd like to briefly discuss an article that I wrote and I published on my Psychology Today blog on sex differences in educational attainment. I've provided you in the descriptor at the bottom of this clip a link to the Psychology Today blog. The idea basically was to look at, in the context of American universities, whether men or women outnumber one another across various degrees and different racial groups. The idea being, of course, that we hear that there is rampant sexism in various institutions and certainly in academic institutions. And so rather than try to guess whether such sexism exists or not, let's let the official data speak for itself. And as you'll find, rampant sexism does indeed exist. Quite unfortunate, and we definitely need to get the feminists to help us redress the situation. So I'm going to read verbatim from a passage of my article in question regarding aggregate data of male-female ratio at American universities. So here we go. So the Institute of Education Sciences, a U.S. governmental organization, has some interesting aggregate data for U.S. residents regarding the percentage of university degrees that were conferred to women at all levels, associate, bachelor, master, and doctor, in 2009-2010, and broken down by 5 racial groups: white, black, Hispanic, Asian Pacific Islander, and American Indian/Alaska Native. In other words, there are 20 male to female ratios that can be examined, namely 4 levels of degrees by 5 racial groups. How many of the 20 cells do men outnumber women in terms of the degrees conferred? Apparently, rampant sexism exists, but perhaps not in the direction that one might otherwise assume, and certainly not one that is consistent with the feminist narrative. In all 20 cells, women outnumbered men. You heard that correctly. In all 20 cells, 4 levels of degrees by 5 racial breakdowns, every single one, women outnumbered men. I mean, you couldn't have a greater dominance of one sex over another. Now, if we are to contrast this result to the corresponding data from 1999-2000, women outnumbered men in 17 of the 20 cells. And again, in my Psychology Today article, I've provided you with a link to the actual data that you can examine yourselves. So in the past 15 years, women have a near complete dominance across every single university degree level, so from associate to doctor's level, across pretty much every conceivable racial breakdown. So it definitely looks as though there is rampant sexism, but perhaps not in the direction that Anita Sarkeesian would like us believe. Now, of course, does this data in any way make the feminist narrative somehow soften? Of course not, because what they'll do next is they'll typically take a particular department. So let's take number theorists in the mathematics department at Princeton University and look at the full professor level. Aha! There are 7 full professors who are male, and there are only 2 full professors who are female. These are hypothetical numbers. There you go. 7 men, 2 women. Forget about all this aggregate data that I just mentioned. We've uncovered the rampant sexism, and apparently it resides at the Princeton number theory faculty. There you go. Women are being unjustly kept down. Now, of course, I say this flippantly. This doesn't mean that there hasn't historically been sexism targeted at women. Of course there has been, and that's shameful. And the great thing is that certainly in Western cultures, we've gone very far in redressing these injustices. So to stick to the narrative, despite the fact that every single datum today points to reverse sexism, right? I mean, you truly could not have data that is any more unequivocal in terms of one sex dominating the other. But there has to be a victimology narrative, and therefore we just ignore the aggregate data and try to find one department somewhere. Mechanical engineering department at Rutgers University has 18 professors, 14 of which are men. Aha, sexism exists. Women are being kept down. It's nonsense. This lunacy has to stop. Where there is sexism, let's try to redress it, whether it's in one form or another. Spread the truth, the sad truth. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Tell your friends about it. Talk to you soon. I am going back to the beach tomorrow morning. Cheers, chat.